Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lizard Brains podcast. I'm your host, DJ Allison Drini. I'm joined by my co-host, Tom O'Gorman. Tom, how's it going?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Good. When I pull my mouse off the screen, it just flashes. So I guess my mouse is going to stay on the screen for this recording.
Huh.
Weird.
That sounds like what a dilemma you find yourself in.
Yes, indeed. I'm not sure where you're going with
you
that.
were doing better a minute ago than now.
I was, yes. Oh, are you saying because we're late?
No.
Okay.
That's just Ito giving us a hard time.
Yeah, Ito said we're late, but I don't think we were. I think we were actually on time this time around.
We were right on time.
Yeah.
As always, everyone, if you don't usually join us for the live podcast recording, first of all, you can join Discord and you can do that. Second of all, we're always immediately on time, and the 30 people who will tell you otherwise are lying.
Yep. And as Devin posted, a wizard is never late, nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
Yeah. I never know where I am, but I'm always where I'm supposed to be.
Ito said you edited the comment where you stated what the showtime was. If you don't have proof, these allegations are unfounded, and we reject your version of reality and substitute our own.
Yeah. I love it. Man, we had a fun weekend.
We did. I'm tired from it, though.
We went to the first event we've both been to since probably Nationals.
Oh, that we both went to.
VIR.
Yeah. The last time I was hanging out with you near a car was Solo Nationals. Yeah. Tom, we need to hang out more.
Yeah, I think it's because I've been doing events that aren't necessarily solo. Well, no. I guess we didn't do. You didn't do TT Nats.
No, I went. I went and picked up Peter's new car with him. Instead,
I think our priorities were slightly different. Well, I had a bunch of work commitments basically throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah. So yeah, we went to HOD Mid Atlantic. We went to a track day there, and it was fun. It was a good time. VIR is I think it's an entertaining track. You've said otherwise in the past, but I do think it is entertaining.
I think it's overrated, but I did drive my first car that wasn't flat through the S's this weekend. I drove Ryan's 911T, which is like the current new, it's a 6-cylinder turbo, is that right?
Yes, it's a Carrera.
Carrera T.
Yeah.
So I drove that, and it was all stock, so it wasn't like any faster than it would be out of the showroom, but I didn't go flat at the S's.
It was literally like showroom stock.
Yeah, it had under 1,000 miles on it. So the purpose of me to go out was to like take this other person who wanted to see something, somebody who wanted to ride, and they needed to see things like what the natural momentum feels like to just use all of the track, etc., kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It wasn't to go flat up the S's in this guy's new car.
No, definitely not. I volunteered myself to be an instructor for a guy that was using hand controls. His name is Byron. It was his first ever track day, and he was using hand controls to drive a BMW because his legs don't work. If you didn't pick up on why he would be using hand controls. And it created like interesting problems for Byron and me to troubleshoot. And mostly I was just trying to lay the groundwork of like, these are the things that you're going to have to troubleshoot to like figure out this driving stuff. And some of the more interesting things was that like his legs would end up like floating around in the pedal box and then end up underneath the pedals, which is like not a thing that somebody without hand controls would have to deal with. But it was like, it's like something that Byron's he's gonna either have to like strap his legs in or like have Velcro straps or something. Like he's gonna have to do something to make sure his legs like are where he thinks they are.
Yeah, before you go further, can you explain how the hand controls were set up? Because I never actually laid eyes on them, but my understanding is he was essentially manipulating the pedals with a stick. It wasn't like a throttle on the steering wheel or something, right?
Correct. Yeah. So it's a rod that is connected to the brake pedal, and he just pushes on that, and then it has another rod that like runs like in a loop through this one that is basically operated by his thumb. So he has like his whole hand on the one for the brake pedal because that one's more physical, and then he
Yeah.
operates the throttle with his thumb. If you imagine,
Wow. Yeah, damn, I really wish I would've, I don't know, like, interrupted your morning to drive that car somehow. Just in paddock. I don't even need to go on track, but
yeah,
they had such a busy morning, especially the newest group, right?
dude. Well, Byron had a busy first. Well, the first session. Oh, it was so much fun, Tom. It's so great, like being with somebody when they go out on a racetrack for the first time, and
Yeah.
so like we pull out. You can tell like Byron's a little nervous, and we go out there, and I go, "Hey, Byron." He goes, what?" And we have like the little track communicators, and I go, "You're on a racetrack," and he goes, "Oh," and like we're all excited. I'm feeding into the excitement, like we're just like having a bunch of fun
Yeah.
and whatever. And then we proceeded like to like slowly drive around the racetrack, and I'm just I I feel like the job of an instructor is like you're not. I don't think you're like trying to make somebody a better driver. You're just trying to make sure they have fun. So like that's 100% what I was focused on, and then I would give Byron like little tidbits of stuff like, oh yeah, if we do this, like, and just like to give him some kind of aim while we're driving and doing laps.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and do doing things better is more fun
yep,
a lot of the times because it means going faster, which
yep,
is more
yep.
fun. But yeah, if you're like a drill sergeant, you get in, you're like, "This is how we're gonna go faster,"
Yeah,
and
dude,
like,
I hear too
then it
many
becomes a
horror
job
stories.
instead of a like, "Woo, we're on a
Yeah,
racetrack."
I'm just a cheerleader for motorsports in the passenger seat, basically,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
like I'm just like, whoa, this is so much fun. And then he like, he'll get like a little loose in a spot where it doesn't feel like we're in like impending danger, and I'm like, oh, getting crazy, or just like adding to it, just like, yeah. So just that was really fun, but like there was some interesting things. So he had a BMW E46, that was an SMG. So to downshift, the paddle is on the left side of the steering wheel.
SMG is semi-manual. So it's an automatic, but what?
It's like a simulated
It's not a
clutch.
DCT, right?
It's the car like simulates an H pattern, but like it does it automatically. So it's not like it doesn't shift fast or anything. It's actually kind of clunky.
Yes. The ones I've driven, I mostly just wanted to point out, mainly for my mom, that that means automatic. But then I realized I don't know how they work. Um, does that mean it's essentially a manual gearbox that's operate like it's instead of the whatever the crazy aren't what do they call them, torque converter, traditional automatic transmissions? I'm drowning here. Help. Am I making sense?
You're just saying a lot of words right now, but continue.
Okay, a normal automatic transmission is like witchcraft, right? And then a manual transmission is a first, second, third, fourth, fifth gear. And the thing changes the gear up and down the gear stack.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
from what I understand, and Anthony's helping in the chat. He's watching you flounder like a fish, and then he's like throwing you some water.
Ugh.
Is it's the exact same transmission as the manual one, but you're not the one changing the gears. It's like an automated, like it will move the shift forks where it needs to based on what the computer is saying. It's like a very
Yeah.
weird, and like there's a solenoid that like engages and disengages the clutch. So like it's not like a DCT where like you shift and it's like the gear is ready and it just like pops in and it's like and you're going. There's like a
Yeah.
delay and a clunk and like a scoot, and like the car gets a little out of shape like when you're like full throttle and stuff like that. And excuse me. And the shifts are kind of slow. So he can't just like rip like bam 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 like on downshifts. Like you kind of have to like do the downshift and then wait a second and then do the next downshift. But his left hand, which would normally interact with the left side paddle, is on the brake pedal, and that's normally when you're downshifting, right? So
Mhm.
there was two different things Byron was doing. And I think like the solution to this is you get like a 3D printed bracket and you like relocate the left paddle so he can do both paddles with his right hand. I think like you have to have like some kind of manipulated like control layout for the car, because what Byron was
Yeah.
doing, like it was working for his like first track day, but like as he would get more comfortable and up to and he's getting more pace and stuff like that, like this was this was probably taking up so much bandwidth of his. He would either reach all the way across the wheel with his right hand to the left side and hit the paddle like that while having a hand on the wheel. And then he would slide his hand all the way back to the right side. Or he would hold while on the brakes, he would hold. So he's pushing with his palm on the stick that touches the brake pedal. And then he would put his thumb on the bottom of the wheel just to like, so it doesn't oscillate and go like wild while he's on the brakes, even though I'm not entirely sure that would happen, but whatever. It was just like, because I
Oh,
told him he shouldn't be not touching the wheel at any point. And he would reach out. So he'd have his thumb on the bottom of the wheel and he'd reach over with his right hand and hit like the physical shifter thing to downshift. Cause that can also change the gear like a, like a sequential shifter in the middle of the car. So like on
holy cow.
downshifts, Byron was like super, super busy. So like obviously something had to be, and this is what I was talking about. I was like, you're gonna have to troubleshoot this, like whatever, and like that's for you to troubleshoot. Like if you want to throw ideas at me, I'll let you know if I think it will work or not. But like these are like things that you're gonna have to troubleshoot. That with and like the legs ending up underneath the pedals and stuff like that. So I I think I think that was a really interesting experience on my end because it made me start thinking about stuff that I haven't troubleshooted before. And it kind of brought me back to when I first started trying to figure out how to drive and how figuring out how to drive was just a bunch of troubleshooting. You're just troubleshooting stuff that you are noticing getting in your way of being more comfortable or going faster or this or that. And sometimes it has to do with the car and sometimes it has to do with you. And like, it's just, you're just recognizing an issue and then you're solving whatever the issue is. And I think the recognizing the issue is probably the harder part. And then the troubleshooting the issue is generally the easier part of that. But
Yeah.
these were new problems, so it kind of like reawakened like like these are like real basic problems that are solvable. And like I said, I haven't had to think about those specific issues before. Normally, when you're like an instructor with somebody that's novice, it's like, oh, I remember when I struggled with that, or oh, I remember that. And like you already figured out how you troubleshooted it, and you can give them that as an
Yeah.
example of like a way that you figured it out, but like they should figure it out like however it works for them and stuff like that. But it was interesting having like new stuff to try to figure out. It was I found that very entertaining. And also Byron he was great. He had such a great attitude and he was
It
fun.
was really fun.
Yeah, and like I mean at at some point we were laughing just cuz like Byron issues because his he doesn't have function of his legs, so like he's like stuffing them in the corner of the seat and like we were having fun with that. And it's just I don't know. I think when somebody's not taking themselves too seriously, because he wasn't very sensitive to the fact that like he's in a wheelchair. He was just like, "Yep, this is me. This is how it is. Like these are the issues that I have to deal with." Um,
Yeah.
was really refreshing because then we could talk about stuff like head on about just down to business, just down to the driving and having fun on a racetrack.
That's really cool. I'm glad you got to experience that. That's not something you get to I bet almost no one listening to this podcast has an experience like that.
Very
So that's
few,
really
at
cool.
least. I know there's a lot of people out there with hand controls driving cars on racetracks, but how often are you the person that's like introducing that person to their first time on a racetrack? Probably not that often. And I want to thank Ryan because it was Ryan's friend, and he's like, "Hey DJ, I want you to do this if you're willing." And I'm like, if anything for one of your friends, Ryan. So I'm glad that Ryan wanted that for his friend, and I'm glad that I was part of it. It was just it was great. I think it kind of reminded me one time I was instructing at a auto interest event, and it was this girl. It was her first time on track, and her brother was there. And like her brother, you could tell her brother was just like, "Come on, come to the racetrack, like just do it once." And I think it's the only time she's ever done it, but she just wanted to go over 100 miles an hour, and she had a base eighth gen Civic. And I'm
Yeah.
not even sure if we got to 100
I
miles an
was
hour, but she had so much fun trying to get to 100 miles an hour on the back straight.
I was gonna say that's a car you actually have to do a pretty good job to get to
Yeah.
100 miles an hour. So she can't just like I'm gonna drive to the back straight and then mat it.
Well, one time she got a little she had no self preservation at all, so she would just be like staring at the speedometer, and I'd have to remind her like that there's a corner coming up. And then one time we like spun in the turn 4 at Mid
Shit a
Ohio.
goal, man.
Dude,
Okay.
I hope she hit her goal because I wasn't really paying attention to it. So, but it kind of not to say that Byron reminded me of a teenage girl that was spinning into turn 4, but like the enthusiasm and the excitement of like holy crap, like I'm actually on a racetrack was like super cool, and I kind of feed off of that. Like that's I really like that. I just like seeing the excitement of like holy crap, I'm on a racetrack. Because it's kind of easy. Like when you're doing it all the time, it's kind of easy to forget that this is like a lot of people's like dreams to even like be out there. So it's just it's cool, and we're lucky.
Yeah, I agree. It's easy to forget that. Um, it was a fun weekend. I think for that was my first hooked on driving weekend, and they've supported and listened to the podcast for a long time. So I think this was their very first season. So they're on a very similar to like we met them and they started this thing.
Yeah,
Um, so it was kind of fun to like see you've been to one already this year, but this is my first one. Um, and I was thinking about it a lot after we left, like what there was something about it that I couldn't like put my finger on, and I realized towards the end that they essentially have four groups. There's like novice, intermediate, advanced, and then like advanced. And especially that advanced, like the culture from the top down, when you get the driver's meeting with whatever, is a very competitive mindset. Not in that you're in competition, but like knowing how to disappear on a racetrack, being comfortable with someone like really, really close to you, if not doing some wheel to wheel on a track day. Those types of things are very much more of a competitor comfort level and a competitive comfort mindset, let's say. And they are instilling that, which I think is what only the best track day organizations have. And I think it's really rare to find a track day organization that actually has people leading it that are like instilling that type of environment. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, definitely. I also think I'm not even I would think that Ryan and Devin know this, but I think like I I wasn't around for like the very beginning of Grid Life when they were just like hosting track days and stuff, but I think it probably like the reason why Grid Life was so successful is they had like a crew, like a core group that was like at every event, and that core group had like infectious personalities and were like influencers in their own sphere. Not influencer of like, they have like, you know, tens of thousands of followers on Instagram or
Yeah.
whatever, but like an influencer of like if they think something is cool, then like the people around them probably also think it's cool, or just like a leader in the paddock essentially. Um and the core group that HOD has, and there's like a dozen of them ish. Uh, I think they're all like leaders in the paddock. Like I was observing a lot of like the people that are like part of this core group, and they go to all of the events, and they're friends with Ryan and Devin, and even Ryan and Devin themselves. The people around them like look up to them, and I think that core group is like super important for an endeavor like this, new franchise um to be successful.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm specifically saying like they're utilizing that to create an environment that like pushes the people within their ladder to like have that true like competitive spirit about the driving. Like when I feel like I don't want to name a specific organization because I haven't done any of them enough, but I've been to track days where the top advanced culture is really expensive cars on Hoosiers driven just okay, and they turn really, really fast lap times for what they are. So that culture becomes it's not really like there's still the like don't get too close to me. There's still point buys involved. There's like it doesn't have the like the difference in what that environment is and like doing a qualifying session, right? And I almost feel like a true advanced group, or at least an organization that offers a group that operates more like a qualifying session for a race weekend than a just standard track day session, is really good for the overall environment, because then it creates this aspirational, like,
Yes.
first of all, you want to be in that group if you can, if you like that, but also to be in that group, you have to get pretty damn good. Like you're comfortable. Like the baseline of operating on a racetrack is innate at this point. Things like having to look for flags, or like, missing checker, like that kind of thing is beyond. Even that level is beyond. It's now like I'm truly just driving the car. And when you're on track with, like, for this weekend, like you ran in this group quite a bit. Basically, all the instructors ran in this group, and most of them were in competition cars. Luke McGrew was there with his time attack car. Matan was there with his GLTC car. Alan Patton was there, and Christian Aranha was like. When you have a dozen of people like that in a group,
Yeah.
you can't. And then they're allowed to treat it like a competition session, and then the novice and intermediates like see that. I think it's better.
Yeah.
I think it's a truer measuring stick for what this can be, but it's also just like higher quality.
Some track day organizations will do like 3 groups, and I think 4 actually works because you have the novice, the intermediate, or like it's basically like novice B, and then you have I don't know what group 3 is considered. I don't think they actually call them novice, intermediate, or advanced. But group 3 is like basically what advances normally, like at all other organizations, and then group 4 is this group that you're talking about, like the aspirational group,
Devin
essentially.
says expert. Or I like Kevin's better though. Noob, novice, chill, and lizard.
I like that. Yep. Yep. That's basically it.
I don't think intermediates are gonna like their downgrade.
No,
They're
probably
calling them
not.
novices.
uh,
Sorry, go ahead. Cut you off.
no, that was my thought. But
You were saying something about that fourth group is, and then I cut you off.
oh, I said it was aspirational. Like the fourth group is the
Mm.
aspirational group. And yeah, I think that works. I think that works if it stays there. The tough part with that is to have that fourth group sign up to enough events for it to be populated.
Yeah, I guess it's part of the Hooked on Driving franchise, or at least I understood it this way when they were talking, that that top group is typically invite only. Like maybe in the other regions, it's that way all the time, and because this is their first year with this region, then they just like, you can sign up but don't mess it up. But I
Right.
really liked, okay,
Ryan
so
says
as
Ryan
part of
says
the,
that's
yeah,
correct. Yeah.
okay, cool. That I think I've never seen that anywhere else before. I'm kind of intrigued by that. But that aside, I really liked a couple things they said. First of all, actually, the tire guy. I got
The
my
tire
funniest
guy.
favorite moment of
I
the
missed
weekend.
this. I don't know when this happened. This must have been because Byron couldn't get down to the classroom thing. So right when it was done, I just like went to him and relayed information.
Yes,
So you're
it
also
was.
explaining this to me because everyone's talking about the tire guy. So please explain it to me, Tom.
So after the main drivers meeting, they all split up and we're in the advanced expert meeting, right? The top level people. And I guess the morning sessions were all 15 minutes long instead of 20, because it worked better for the schedule, and was like, just whatever, who cares? The guy at the end, when Ryan says any questions, he goes, I 15 minutes just isn't long enough to get my tires warm. Like, no question, nothing.
Really?
It's like, oh, okay. And Ryan immediately was like, well, you can drive around paddock or even drive off property if you need a little bit, but maybe when you're signing up for a track day at the end of November, you can, kind of know it's probably going to be cold. And uh what else? It was the last thing he said was perfect. Oh, maybe, yeah, maybe don't come to a track day if you don't think you can get heat in your tires.
A track day in December or whatever, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I was like, thank you for saying that way too. It was amazing. So that was my funny. Yeah, it was just a very silly drivers meeting moment where I don't mean to laugh at the guy, but oops. And then I really liked that they said
Also,
in.
hold on. In the
Go ahead.
temperature that tires like are activated in, do you think that like like once it starts to warm up and like the friction and what it's going through on the ground, do you like, is there actually that much of a difference to 40 degrees to 70 degrees? Right?
Yeah.
L-
Yes. Yes.
Well, no, I'm saying
I'll
that there
I'll
isn't. I'm saying there isn't a big difference when it's like with the workload that the tire's going through, like it's still gonna get up to temperature. You know how cold it would have to be for your tire to never
Oh,
get the temperature?
yes, I see what you're
It would
saying.
have to be like
Once
frigid.
it gets there, it's there. I'm with you. I think we need to stop talking about tire temperatures. If you say anything to me about your tires being cold, like then warm them up. I don't know. I just don't understand when someone like, especially they go off and they get black flagged and they come back in and they say the tires were cold.
The,
That's
I'll
your
challenge.
fault. That's not the tire's fault.
Look, most people listen to this while driving in a car. I want you when you get out of the car to you're just rolling down the road and chances are wherever you are it's cold right now. Touch your tire. I guarantee just rolling down the highway, it's warm
Yeah.
and it's cold
Yes.
out. You shouldn't have issues getting tire temp when it's cold on a track.
It will take longer. I'll give like I remember especially I don't know who this person was or what they were driving. So I'm mostly laughing because it was just a funny moment, but since we're extrapolating it, when we were like the TCR Michelin slicks at Daytona and it was like 40 degrees in the morning one day, it took an alarmingly long time to get the rear tire to come in. Like it never came in fully and it was like a 10 lap session at Daytona and I'm still like skittering around a little bit in the back.
Yeah.
And it spooked me. Like obviously that's really hard. It's not comfortable. It's not fun, but that's what you got. You just keep warming them up. Just keep waiting it out.
Just
They'll get
drive
there.
the car that's underneath you. Don't drive the thing that you wish it was.
Yeah, that's actually what Ryan said more effectively. But anyway, I liked in the meeting they said in this, this is the advanced and then the lizard group. It's called advanced expert, whatever they call it. They they self placed, and he said if you're in this D group, this is kind of what to expect, and if you're not comfortable with that, go to C. Like there's no shame in that. It's just that if that's not what you want, go to the other one. I like that he said that, and then also I love the line in their the driver like schedule in the packet. Um, be predictable, not polite, which I think is a great line for a track
We're
day.
stealing it for our Lizard Brains event.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean it kind of works that way in all environments, but just for the way a track day should work. Because I was thinking about that as I was writing up some driver meeting notes for our race. We'll talk about that in a second. That if you say it for a wheel to wheel race, I don't know. There's times where you can be polite, like you almost should be polite. It's better for you to be polite. Like say you're a slower car and you're getting passed by there's a faster car and you're not polite to them, you're wasting your own time and their time.
Yeah, well, it depends. I mean, you if it's a race and you're wasting their time but not your own time, then I think that's kind of on them. Um,
I guess.
but
But
like
yes,
here's the
either
thing that
way,
I
it
see
does
a
still
lot.
work.
This is the thing I see a lot. Is somebody will like let you pass, and obviously you're going to pass. And they could just lift a little bit on the straightaway and then like they lose time um and the car behind doesn't lose any time, right? That's obviously best for the car behind. You're not going to get that all the time. The worst thing that I see all the time is where they try to let you by on the exit of the corner. I see it way too often. Where somebody
Wait, what do you
goes,
mean by that?
they'll literally drive through the corner and then on the exit they like won't, or they'll, if they started accelerating they'll stop accelerating or they won't accelerate. And so you like, as the faster car you're trying to build up a run to get like by them, and then when they park it on an exit the run just like stops immediately because you don't expect them to just like park it on the exit of the racetrack.
I think I see what you're saying. So they stay online, but they lift to let you go.
Like after the corner, like immediately after the corner. So
Yes.
like your car has momentum and you're like accelerating out of the corner, right? And they just park it on exit. So now the trajectory and momentum of where your car was going is now where their car is, not where it should be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm following. I'm with you. I think that's really annoying. What I was gonna say is really annoying is when people let you buy at the end of the straight, right into the
Like
corner.
on
Like
corner
we
entry,
both go
dude.
down the straight and then they like point and lift early. Like, but okay, so
Look, if you
that
do
aside,
that,
let's just
if you do
explain.
that, straight to C group.
Sure, yeah, no, B, that's like not advanced behavior.
Yeah, yeah.
Get down
Get
lower.
out of here.
Um, get out of here. You know Randy Popest's vortex of danger?
Yeah.
So it's basically all the space to the inside of the car between the brake point and the apex is the vortex of danger. That's where cars get dive bombed, and that's where like you shouldn't go.
Hold on.
You shouldn't enter. You should not enter it the further into the
I
corner
don't
you get. Let's
I
say it
don't
that way.
necessarily think it's the breaking point. It's like the turn-in point to apex, the inside of the car.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
fair. The place to give the point by is the opposite of that from apex to the exit. You disappear into the pocket on the inside of the track so the person behind with natural momentum can just carry the line out.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
What do we call that? We should call it like the Garden of Eden. Someplace you want to be. We'll call it the Fountain
Look,
of Youth. I don't know.
everyone,
Like that's where you should go.
you've said it before, but like just watch Formula 1 qualifying and don't pay attention to the car that's doing the lap. Pay attention to all the cars that car's passing. Those people know how to get out of the way. Because their
Yes.
competition depends on it. If they get in the way, then they get a penalty and then their whole like weekend's basically ruined, right? But that
Yep.
is how we should be getting out of the way when a car catches us. Especially at a track day.
That's what I'm talking about with having a group that instills that type of thought. It just like the quality of everything just goes through the roof.
Yeah.
I just posted a picture of it. If so, like, yeah, I've never thought of how to explain. I've never thought of how to explain where to go to be invisible on a racetrack. I've just known that I'm really good at being invisible on a racetrack. Now I finally have words for it. The
I've
inverse of the vortex of danger.
well, if somebody's looking at this
I'm not going to use those words.
yeah, if somebody's looking at this graphic right now, they're going to try to let you they're going to let you pass like on the on entry. I think.
I know.
Yeah.
You get the idea.
It's just there's little pockets of where the line isn't, and you want the moment that they pass you for you to be in that pocket.
It's not even where the line isn't. A better way to say it is the natural momentum of a car doing a good job literally could never get there.
Yes,
That's where you go to get out of the way.
that's the best way to say it. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Somebody clip
So
that.
all you have to do is think about, yeah, love that.
Yeah, that's
All right. No
that's
one ever,
what
no
it
one
is.
ever gets to miss a point by ever again.
Yeah,
Good
now
job,
we're all
listeners.
perfect. Literally can't make a mistake.
Dude, forgetting to give someone a point by in a not smooth way or giving someone a point by in a clunky way is like the worst feeling ever.
It's
It's like such a boogers moment.
when I went to the Road Atlanta last year and I was driving Peter's GT3 RS. It was so hard to get a clean lap because you would drive up to somebody and they would give you a point by, but you drove up to them, slowed down, waited for the point by, and then you got the point by. And it was like, man, if you just gave that like preemptively, because like you know I'm coming, or at least I would hope you know I'm coming. Don't wait till I get there and then like get to your speed and then point me by. Like just be like, yep, he's coming. Here's my hand out the window. He knows what to do.
Yeah. But that's just I would say that's a pretty true advanced group.
That's the
thing.
normal advanced group experience, but I think HPD organizations should aim higher.
I agree. Totally agree. To me, that's an intermediate behavior.
Yes.
There should not be an advanced driver in your grid that does that. But
Yeah.
the standards at different places are
Maybe
different
like
based on the clientele and whatever else.
maybe like once or twice a weekend it happens to that person and they feel like crap when it happens. When they're like, "Oh crap, I didn't get my arm out the window quick enough." Like that should be the feeling they have. And if they don't have that feeling, then they're not in advance.
Like, oh, dang it. Or give them a good like Paul Darling shucks or something.
Oh shoot.
Yeah. That's how you should feel kind of bad. That was most of my frick. That's the one. Thank you, Lena. Frick. I don't really have much else from the weekend. I only drove the one car. You drove a bunch. Do you find an ND to buy yet?
dude, I was looking. I drove quite a few different cars this weekend, and my
Guys, DJ
favorite,
has a
dude,
problem.
my
DJ has a
favorite
problem.
car I drove was Glenn's ND Miata. It was just so, and the reason why it was my favorite is I it always felt like there was more on entries. Always. It didn't like I would break what I felt like was so late. And then when I got to Apex, I was like, man, I could have had a little bit more momentum. I could have got like more of a twist on the car on entry and like maybe next lap. But like the entries feel like so like you're gonna drive off the racetrack. And then you don't. It's just, that was just super fun. And we were talking in the car on the way home. It's like, what does Formula One feel like? Because they're just flying at these corners, probably like roughly like the same braking distance that I was in this Miata, but they're going like twice as fast. Like
Literally, yeah.
or
Yeah.
probably even more because I'm only pulling like 1.6 G's on brakes, like and that's like peak, right? And they're pulling like 4 to 5. So it's like literally twice as much grip if we do the math. So they're going more than twice as fast and they're braking in the same distance.
Yeah. That was the first time you drove one on track.
In ND, yes, yeah. Oh, I drove my C Street.
You would have driven yours.
I drove my C Street car on track, but never. This was like STR light prep, ND Miata.
Got it.
And I'm like, oh man, I kind of need one of the. I have a Miata. It's literally right there. I can like almost touch it. It's like, it's right. It's so close. So now I'm looking for a diff. So like, guys, if you've made it 37 minutes into the podcast so far, and you just have a diff of an NC Miata laying around, because right now mine has an open diff. If you it can be the OEM torsion or whatever. It's going to be an upgrade. Please reach out to me. I want it. Because the car will drive significantly better compared to an open diff. Please get a hold of me. Because the NC won't be like quite as fast as the, Ito, tell me what kind of diff the OEM one is. I thought it was torsion. I have a Miata that will feel just like that on track. And like, I haven't tracked it yet. And now after driving that ND, I'm like, oh man, I want to do this. There's a really nice hardtop right now for sale in Michigan. That I wish wasn't $3,000 because like that would be great.
We should just build our own
hardtop. Ito, can you 3D print me a hardtop? Ito just bought a bunch of 3D printing stuff, so that's why I'm asking.
Robert Thorne apparently has a 3D printer big enough to print molds for fenders. He might be able to help.
Oh,
that's pretty big.
I'll just like piece it together. Like you have joints, and we can
have,
do
like
like
a modular top.
We can do glue.
This sounds cheaper.
That does sound cheaper. Maybe.
And maybe leakier, but cheaper.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about water. Dang it.
Yeah. I'm annoyed. I forgot to plug our race at the top.
Oh.
All right, guys, we're hosting a sim race. I wanted to get that out of the way like right away so
Dang
we
it.
don't lose anybody. But we're super excited. Spicy Cat Racing is presenting the race. Sim TV is streaming the race, and then we'll have prizes from Spicy Cat Racing, which is essentially a kind of one-stop shop. It's Ryan, also from Hooked on Driving, owns this as well. So there's gear on the website. There's stuff for your car. There's some driver coaching options and stuff. There's like he sells data stuff. So it's a kind of like one-stop shop all on a website, at least as it's relatively new, but already has a bunch of that stuff. So he's giving some prizes from Spicy Cat Racing, and then SCCA is giving prizes from Track Night in America. You can join the Discord. I won't go through all the specifics, but it's in iRacing, a 3-hour endurance race. You can have up to 4 teammates and be competitive. And I've been like spamming every people that I know that play iRacing to like try to like hook, line, and sinker them into this race because I want it to be like gangbusters. I'm so excited.
I have a feeling we're gonna have more than 60 teams.
I'm getting nervous about that too.
Yeah. So fill out the commentator's guide. You'll get the password early. If you want the password earlier than that, subscribers get the password because we want to make sure that absolutely all the subscribers that want to participate in the race are in. And then we want to also entice people to fill out the commentator's guide. And then everyone who doesn't fall under that will get the password after. So if you definitely want to be in the race, subscriber. If you want to 99.999% be in the race, then commentator's guide.
Yep. I had a question from this though. Oh, and by the way, it's Sunday, December 12th, December 14th,
14th.
excuse me, at 12 noon.
Yep.
On the 14th at noon Eastern.
That's
And then the race
hold on,
you'll be like out of your sim rig and
Tom.
done by,
That's when quali starts is 12.
no, quali starts at 1.
Okay, I have to change it.
You'll be out of your sim rig by like 4:30. But I did have a question. So I'm surprised at how many people so far I've heard from who are going to do it by themselves. And I know it's only a 3-hour race. It's not like it's a crazy long time to do a stint by yourself or a race by yourself. But the first thing I think of when I think of these races is like, who's my teammate? Who am I going to do it with? Because it's like the fun having like doing the collaborative thing and like practicing together and all that.
Mhm.
That's the first thing I think of with these endurance races. What is it about iRacing that makes the people who are like competitive and want to win, they're all doing it by themselves?
Well, I think
You ever think
3
about that?
hours 3 hours is in the span that like you could definitely do it by yourself. Like it will be tough. How when we did the Road Atlanta race, was that 4 hours?
Yeah.
That was tough by when I did that one by myself, 4 hours like
Yeah.
nonstop focus, that was pretty tough.
That one was a lot.
At 3.5 hours, I was like, I'm starting to hallucinate. So I think that's why we did 3. So if somebody does want to do it by themselves, it's not that hard. But I think because we made it not that hard, I think more people are going to do it by themselves. So, but there's
Interesting.
still going to
So
be
you're not drawn to do it with a teammate?
no.
I'm trying to think if I was going to do it, what would I do? I think I would want to do it with a teammate,
I
but
want
it's
to.
just because I'm not that good at iRacing
I don't want
in
to
the
sit
grand scheme
out
of things.
for part of the race if I don't have to. Like I think the race would have to get to
No.
like over 4 hours for me to be like, yeah, I should probably get somebody else in this car.
So like every phase of the race is something you get to experience, and you just want to drive more.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
So you're looking at this as the way that I would look at a real life race. It's what I'm just thinking of. If it was only 3 hours and you let me do the whole thing, I would.
Yeah, you're never gonna say no.
I literally forgot that iRacing could be fun like that.
Tom, you're in a bad spot with iRacing.
It didn't cross my mind. That's why I asked this question. Like,
Oh
why
my
wouldn't you want to
goodness.
have a teammate?
Uh,
Oh no. That's embarrassing.
we need to get you some sim racing upgrades over here, Tom. I truly think it will make your time with it more enjoyable.
I'm having a blast with Assetto right now. The
You'll
Time Attack League.
have even more of a blast with the
I,
setup.
we'll find out. I won the Pikes Peak Hill Climb week. So I got to pick the next set of cars, and I said I just want to do something vintage, and here are some ideas. So it ended up being like a vintage version of Mid Ohio in 1970s GT cars, like Corvettes and the BMW Batmobile and Ford Capris and all this stuff. And I'm having fun with that.
I'm glad you're having fun, Tom.
And then I play iRacing. I'm like, why is this way? Why is it like this?
You get so cranky. You're just like instant. You spin once and it's just like you're just like cranky all of a sudden.
Yeah, because ask me when the last time I spun a real car was.
When was the last time you spun a real car?
I don't know.
Hmm?
So when I get in this silly thing and I like immediately wipe out, that's not fun.
You don't remember the last time you spun a car?
I spun the Janetta last year at Coda in the rain when I hit paint around the outside of a slower car.
Realism. Boom, got him. You knew that was coming.
Is everything in iRacing covered in paint and wet? Like, is that why I'm missing?
Sometimes.
Oh God. I do still have fun some of the times. It's just some of them don't make any sense. What were we driving the other day that didn't make any sense to me?
I'm not.
It was a GT3
sure.
car.
Was it GT3?
For this race, I tried it. Yeah, it was a little.
Which one were you driving?
The Ferrari. It's better than the GT4 car for me, though. I at least got it around the track within a second of the competitive times and stuff.
You know, I just realized is that there's not a GT4 Ferrari.
There's not. No, that would probably be considered beneath
beneath the brand.
their brand image. Yeah.
Man, there was a Ferrari challenge at the track day this weekend, and
Yeah, a couple of them.
those are beautiful cars. Well, the one that I was talking about was beautiful. One looked like a champ car because it saw a tire wall at some point, but it literally showed up like that, and they were tracking it. So kudos to them. But
Kudos to them.
I was more talking to the 488 challenge that was like red and like perfect.
Yeah. There, when I was at Honda, they were talking about an NSX GT4 for about a year while I was
Didn't they have
like
a
I would
GT4?
hear them talking about it, but they never had one.
They
They had
didn't have one.
uh-oh, lost a monitor. They had the predecessor to GT4. They had a TSX built for that.
For GT4?
It was the predecessor when they called it GTS, and it was like all the pre-homologated GT4 cars.
Was it
So
front
like
wheel
Mustangs
drive?
and Camaros and Aston Martins and Caymans still. Yeah, it's front wheel drive.
Yeah. Okay. How did that work out? How would you even? That sounds like a organizer nightmare because you got to BOP it with all the Porsches and McLarens and stuff.
That's probably why they went to Global GT4 after that.
Oh, got it. Yeah, that makes sense.
We're talking World Challenge in like the late 2010s there. There's some motorsports history for you.
Do you want to answer some podcast questions?
Sure. We had some good ones.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to play the chime. Emails. All right. Here we go. I'm bringing up the pinned questions. I'll go right off the top. Ready?
Yep.
All right. Alex E., who was driving a 135 I at the track day this weekend, and it went away on a trailer broken. He says, did you just delete it or did something else get pinned? Oh, you just pinned something else.
I pinned another one. Sorry.
I just switched to Assetto Corsa from Gran Turismo 7. So I'm also curious if you have better tips for improving. Better tips. Better than the ones we've already given.
Ones weren't good enough?
What the hell?
Yeah.
But what helped me the most was having someone I know is roughly my skill level set a decent lap in a car. I had some clue about how to drive around a familiar track and send me a replay of it. That way I could study the driving of someone else who's not a total alien, but competent in the game of choice. I kind of agree with, I mean, I think finding somebody that is slightly faster than you is probably going to be easier to dissect, like the low-hanging fruit that you're leaving on the table, than somebody who's wildly faster than you, especially when you're just like watching their lap. I think like probably the sweet spot is like a second faster than you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I like this idea. I think the shortcut to this idea is to watch them while you're in the server with them.
Yep. Agreed.
You just go watch them drive. Assetto does that, but maybe you're not in the server with the same people all the time because Assetto is a little different than iRacing.
Yeah.
Like when you're online, there's other people around you in iRacing. But
the thing
I guess, yeah, it's sometimes when you watch the fastest person versus your own lap, it can be a little just like, I don't even know how to start. You know? But my point is like, don't restrict yourself to only someone who's about the same as you. But I agree that like kind of starting by segmenting it out that way, if you can help too.
I would do this in iRacing's great for this, by the way. I remember, and I think I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I would just load into a server. Maybe I wasn't going to do the race, but I knew a race was about to start. So the practice servers would have a bunch of people like doing laps in them. I would load into the server just so it would be on my replay, go do whatever I was going to do. My computer's just sitting there in the server, just like capturing everyone's laps essentially. And then I would then sit down to do some laps to like get proficient at the racetrack. And I would click on the person who's at the fastest lap, go to their fastest lap and watch it. And that was like a good baseline right off the rip. Then I would do some laps and then I'd go back to their lap now that I kind of understand what I'm trying to do. And then I would watch their lap again and see what the differences were. And then I'd go out and try to implement those things again. And meanwhile, I'm like chasing that lap time. I'd go back to their lap for like reference or whatever. And I could spend like an hour doing this, especially when I first started. Um, Basically until like the next race was coming up, and then I would go do the race. Like that was like a common thing that I would do to practice for races coming up when I just started iRacing. And even now, I'll if there's like something that somebody's doing that I'm like, how did they set that time? I go right to the replay because I want to see it.
Yep.
I want to see what they're doing because it's like like how much of a cheat code is it? Like think about this in real life, you like kind of can't do that. You kind of like it's pretty hard to like find somebody's lap. Like they might have recorded it, but like what are the chances are that they're going to share it? What are the chances are that you're going to find it? What are the chances are that you're going to find it in the same weekend that you can also just like jump right back in the car and go do the thing, right? Like that's to me that's like the biggest perk of iRacing mostly. I think you can also watch laps in Assetto Corsa, but it's a little bit more finicky.
You just have to. Yeah, I think you have to. I mean, you can watch it in real time. You can't control the replay nearly as well as iRacing.
Oh, I think you have to
But in
leave.
Assetto, you also have that the data trace tab. Um, so you can actually like look at just a speed, like throttle brake speed and time delta.
Yeah.
A very basic like aim setup. That is in Assetto and is not in iRacing if you don't have a third party data thing running. I like all of what you just said. I totally agree. I also think like Alex, who asked this question, races with us in Assetto on Wednesdays usually when we race, and like so he's already doing this. But if you haven't or if you aren't, like have your friend group do more than just like race with each other, so that you don't get stuck not knowing. Like sometimes you might race with your friend group, race with your friend group, race with your friend group, and then the first time you venture out, you guys are like a second off everybody else. Like this happens to me for sure. And then you realize like the measuring stick wasn't true in my friend group. Now we all see that we can go a little faster. So for example, like if you have a group that you race with on a night and you're looking to get better, try to like instigate all of them to try like another league with you once and just like see how you do. And if you go in and you mop everybody up, then that's a good sign.
Yeah, then you know that you're hanging out in the right group.
Right. So Alex, keep doing that. And if you're listening to this and you don't do that with your friend group, do that.
And
you can start with the Lizard Brain Sim Lizard 3 hour on December 14th.
You could. We have a bunch of practices. There's a practice schedule, and you can like jump in and kind of see where you stand. And if you don't like losing, then just be a mediocre sized fish in a very small pond, and just stay there. And then you won't get faster at all. But at least you won't feel bad about losing.
Your tone feels very pointed right now.
No, that's not.
I'm kidding.
That's not what I'm saying. Not you.
I know.
All right. Please do Devin's next.
I will. In honor of me using a Pokemon emoji earlier, what are your favorite Pokemon and which game/generation was the best?
Do you know what Pokemon that is? That's the emoji?
That's Psyduck.
It is. Okay.
I was a hardcore Pokemon fan.
Oh my God. I didn't know this about
really
you.
enjoy Pokemon. I had the cards. I thought the cards were cool. I wish I could have played the cards with people at some point. And Pokemon Red was my game of choice. And then Pokemon Silver. And then I grew up a little bit much for it. So I haven't played anything past that, I think. But Gen 1, 100%. I'm a millennial. Hardcore.
So I also had cards. And I would go to like little card tournament things. But I didn't.
Oh, you would? Of course you did.
Yeah.
Dang, I wish I would have done that.
No. Hold on. The lizard stops there. The lizard doesn't continue. I did it. I had this like nice little book and I still have it. I could grab it, but it would only be for the video. I have a book and it has like these little sleeves and I have all my Pokemon cards and they're all organized in this book, like by like, the first evolution, second, third, and like it's all organized. And I didn't want to take them out of the book. So I would just go there and walk around with my Game Boy with a little like connector cord and try to battle people. But I wouldn't want to play the card game because I didn't want to like, I spent a lot of time organizing that little book. Like I didn't want to I didn't want to tear it apart.
I love that. I mean, logical.
Yeah, I'm not gonna tear it
And
apart.
what did you do with those cards?
I don't know. I still have them. I don't. They're like
Wait,
pointless.
didn't we just talk about Pokemon last episode?
No, did we?
We talked about Pokemon on the trip this weekend. Why does this feel so fresh?
Wait, when did we talk about Pokemon on the trip? I didn't know you were a Pokemon fan. This is like new news to me. You must have been talking about Pokemon with the other podcast host.
Yeah. I think I was actually talking about it with my brother. Either way, something for some reason Pokemon's like right in the top of my brain, and it's not just because of this conversation. But if anybody has a recommendation for somebody who's like kind of an old Pokemon boomer, if there's a game that I would like, tell me about it. I downloaded the one that came out for Switch called, what was it? Pokemon Pikachu and Pokemon Eevee or whatever. And you can't, it's not like the old games. You don't like capture and battle your Pokemon. They just get more experience from walking around. Like,
Gross.
this is dumb.
What is that?
So I got a refund.
They have to.
It was stupid.
They
I
have
don't
to
know.
fight to the death. That's the only way that works. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Gross. God. Pokemon just being friends with each other. Ugh.
Right. Give him the chair.
It was like every morning before school, I'd be watching the Pokemon show, and like Pikachu was like the main character in that. So I was like obsessed with Pikachu. Pikachu was the coolest thing ever. I remember crying as a kid because Pikachu, no matter how much I wanted it, would never be real. Like it was,
Say that again.
no matter how much I wanted it to be true, Pikachu would never be real. Like I could never have my own Pikachu.
Oh.
I had a little Pikachu stuffed animal, but that was just a stupid stuffed animal. That wasn't actually Pikachu. I just wanted a friend, Tom.
I also was obsessed with that show. That show was so good.
It was
We didn't have
good. I
cable.
wonder
That
if it-
show was on whatever local thing.
I wonder if it holds up.
I went back and watched it. I used to watch it on the treadmill at the gym when I did that.
I'm just imagining what that looks like.
Dude,
Tom's
it's-
getting all sweaty
it's
on
actually-
the treadmill. You got your little tablet, and you just got freaking just the Pokemon battles happening.
The TV show, yeah. Okay, it's actually like when you go back as an adult, it's pretty hysterical because it's dubbed in English, so they have to say stuff when their mouths move, and sometimes they don't have anything to say. So the dubbing is kind of wild. There's
Stuff-
like they say some silly stuff.
Stuff you don't notice as a child.
Yeah.
So, anyways, my Pokemon game, because I was just absolutely obsessed with Pikachu, was obviously Pokemon Yellow, which was basically the same game as Red and Blue, but Pikachu was the main character in that game. And so I've played through that game a couple times since like I played through it as a child. I remember my grandma got me that game, and a Game Boy Color. That was like I went to Arizona where they live.
It was a good Christmas.
Yeah, I went to Arizona where they live for Christmas, and I remember my grandma couldn't believe how many batteries I was going through. And that she got me this thing, and that's all I wanted to do. And I'm like, "Are you kidding? Pikachu hates me right now. He needs to love me." I like needed to keep going.
Because he might be real.
This is as real as
love
it's
that.
gonna get, Grandma. You don't understand. But yeah, and I've played it through a couple times. I remember the first time I got an Android phone, and I could have an emulator play games on my phone. This was like a Android S4 or whatever. Like that was I think my first Android phone. I played through Yellow, through the whole thing on my phone, just because I could play it.
I also went back. I played Fire Red and Red a couple times over, but now I know the game so inside and out, and like I would love to like relive the magic of that game when I was a child.
Yeah.
But I haven't found one. And I don't know any of the new ones. Aren't there like thousands of Pokemon now?
Off topic. It is.
Oh, we're on topic right now.
Yeah. I mean, this is the podcast listeners need to know.
Yeah.
If there was a game that you could play through for the first time again, what would it be?
Gran Turismo 2.
What got spoiled or like ruined in the game?
Maybe 3. I don't know. I remember those games feeling like magic. And I would love to re-experience that. Okay, from a perspective of what are you asking? Like if
If
got
you
to
could
re-experience the
re-experience
storyline once?
or just re-experience a game again. But yeah, Gran Turismo 3. Sorry, I poo-pooed on it, Tom. I apologize.
I think it'd be one of those two. Or Spyro the Dragon.
Were you like enamored
The
by that?
second one, maybe the first one. That's like the only non-racing game that I played when I was a kid, and I now have the new updated version of it. I listen to the music from that game,
Yeah.
which was composed by the drummer from The Police. Fun fact. Like on my my phone has the music from that game on it. I love that game. If you've never played Spyro the Dragon, go give it a shot. You would hate it. It's way too
I've
easy for you.
I feel like that game aged very poorly. I think I remember Christine playing it on like an emulator or something, and I was like, "Do you really just jump around and collect things?" And that's all you
Yeah,
do.
yeah, we're different people.
You just
We're
jump
different
around and
people.
collect things. I hate collector games where you just like, "You gotta get all the bananas," and you're just like running around grabbing the bananas. Like, what are we doing? What is this, Pac-Man in 3D?
um, I don't know if I played any other game. I've never played like hard games for fun.
Hmm. You played Cuphead.
Cuphead's hard. It's not that hard to play. It's just really hard
to
to like
go
to
forward
live.
in the game.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, Cuphead's really hard. For me,
that one just feels like button mashing to me.
it's Outer Wilds. That game,
Mm,
that game hit. But once you play through it, you can never play it again because solving the mystery is what that game's about. Like I remember getting like Xbox Live for Halo 2 and my mom even switched over like our internet provider cuz we had AOL and that wasn't compatible with Xbox Live. And I remember asking her can we switch to a different internet provider so I can have Xbox Live? And she was like, yeah, sure, okay. And I just remember going like, oh my god, it's happening! I'm actually gonna have Xbox Live. And then when I got it and getting online and like competing against people and like, I just remember being like, dude, little like 16-year-old DJ, like the dopamine was freaking firing, dude. Like, oh my
yeah.
god,
Actually, that's a good point. But I had the exact same experience with I misread something. This is back in the like more like the gaming magazines days, but I read something that Gran Turismo 4 was online,
oof,
which is not true, but it has
oh,
a it has a like land feature basically, I think, or like some sort of thing that I as a child didn't know what that was, and I just thought it was online.
Gran
And I knew
Turismo
if you bought
4
this little
was
box,
that on PlayStation 3?
2.
2, okay.
So I bought the box and I got it all set up, and I had my parents help me like plug it into the router, I guess. It's like get it all set up, and then that game doesn't have online. But I found Toka Race Driver 2, and that game does have online. And the first time I went to go join like a public lobby in a racing game was like, I
Ooh,
was like,
were you like
it was
shaking?
so buzzing. I was
Yeah,
so excited because I've played up to that point. I had literally only played against AI,
yeah.
and like that's such a foreign experience now. But I don't know that, but I would still, yeah. I just wish I could play one of those simpler games
I
again.
I remember with Halo, uh, I got Halo 2 for Christmas, and then me and my buddy we played through like the campaign and we like beat it like in the same night or whatever. We just stayed up all night and played it.
Yeah,
And then my parents were going out of town, and um, I was like, we need to have a LAN because so and so got Halo, and so and so got Halo, and so and so got Halo, and I have a router, and we could probably like find some long Ethernet cords, and like we could just take over this whole house. So like they left, and then I secretly invited um 16 people over my house, and we rearranged the whole house so we could have like little gaming setups, and we had a LAN, and it went for like 20 hours until we were like dead basically. And
yeah.
that was the push that I was like, damn, I need to get Xbox Live because I could just do that all the time because it was so much fun. By the way, never found out.
Never found out what. Oh,
Never found out
until
about the
now.
LAN. Well, no, I told them like a couple months later because I wanted to do it
Oh,
again, and they're like, absolutely not. You're gonna destroy the house. And I was like, well, joke's on you. I already had one.
you didn't know about it.
Uh,
We
which
had a
actually
day.
worked, by the way, because they're like, damn, okay, well, if you can do that again, then it works.
All right,
Yeah,
that's when lying pays off.
I guess so.
Yeah, we had a day in our high school called I think it was called Spirit Day, and we were basically allowed to do whatever we want on school property. So the whole parking lot, they had a whole roster of like kids from the school. Their bands played on a stage. They had like a nice stage set up outside. They had loudspeakers outside. You could grill and you could like basically tailgate as a high schooler, but then you could also bring your video game systems and TVs into
Oh,
school and like plug them in the hallway. So there was just like little pockets of gamer kids like having LAN parties essentially
yeah,
around the
yeah,
hallways
yeah.
of the school. That was fun. I'm surprised they let us do that. Why would they let us do that?
I remember um
That was a fun thing.
I didn't go to college right out of high school, but I would go visit my friends who were in college, and I just remember it being a thing where your Xbox was just plugged into the internet of the college, and you could just go to the LAN thing, and people were LANing all the time. I was like, man,
Huh.
if somebody told me about this, I would have went to college.
Nice. Yeah.
uh,
You would have done what I did at college, which is go to college and enjoy living by yourself and not go to college. Like, shit, did
uh,
this all wrong.
maybe I don't know. I don't know. I mean, when I eventually did go to college, I mean, I was there pretty focused, but until I didn't finish. But all right, want to jump to the next question?
Yeah, we'll do one more.
All right. This one from we're sorry if you submitted a question a while ago. We're just grabbing right off the top. Um, Anthony writes in, how do you tell people to just do laps without being condescending?
Condescending, yes. Um,
Wait, hold on. What do you think he means by, in quotations, just do laps? But also, hold on. Side note, apparently at dinner, I'm known as the biggest shit talker in the group, and I wholly reject that.
well, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, laugh it up, Chuckles. Yeah.
I can't stop.
So
Oh,
funny,
no.
Tom.
Oh no.
At a whole table of my peers, somebody asked who the biggest shit talker was, and they all pointed at me.
Cond- condescending copy.
What?
I'm sorry.
I'm missing the joke.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, we lost Tom. He's literally something happened. I don't know what's going on with Tom, but he can't stop laughing. I've never seen Tom break
Sorry.
before. Zach Rubin, this would happen every once in a while. I know we've talked about Zach Rubin on the podcast. Sometimes you just get Zach laughing and he's broken and he's like literally broken for the rest of the night. And sometimes you can do it while he's sim racing and his laps will fall apart and he basically falls apart.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I'm back.
okay.
Um,
What broke you?
So what he means by just do laps, you said condescending. You just added an N. It made me laugh. I don't know why.
maybe that's what
I'm laughing with you.
maybe that's what the group meant by shit talking is that I can't talk.
No,
I am shit
no.
at talking.
At the table at the time, you were the biggest shit talker.
Wow.
Who's the bigger shit talker than you? That wasn't at that table.
Okay,
Then we'll answer
touche.
your question. Anthony.
Touche.
But as I said then, and I'll say now, you are extremely good at knowing the line. So when you shit talk, you don't get yourself in trouble.
Yeah. Comes from years of Xbox Live.
I guess, yeah. I feel like I tried to shit talk like 3 or 4 times in GLTC, and 2 or 3 of them backfired badly. And I was like, oh, I don't know how to do it. I think I'm bad at it.
I don't know how to do it. You like do it and you're like zing-a-ling-a-ding-a, gotcha. And people are actually mad and you're like, oh, come on.
Yeah, kind of. Okay, so what he means by this question to me is how do you tell someone to, instead of overthinking what they either need to do or why they can't start or et cetera, how do you tell them to just go do laps, do the activity, rough it up a little bit, like just go out, get out there and do it instead of like overthinking it or letting yourself not start because you think you need brakes or you need tires or you need or I haven't set up my sim rig, whatever the excuse may be. That's
Yeah.
what I take this as. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah. sometimes I tell people
without
to
being condescending, meaning you're not like yelling at them, like, "Oh my god, just stop and just go do it." You know, you don't want to say it like that.
yeah. Uh, I I found it to be kind of effective to just tell people to go out there and muck it up a little bit. Like, especially if you're picking specific in real life, you're picking like specific spots for them to muck it up, and then
Yeah,
just take what you learned in that spot and you can apply it to the faster zones. But like, you don't want to, like, you don't do the experiment. Like, you're not going to do the experimenting in South Bend. You do the experimenting in turn one and turn four, um, like that, or like that's where you're going to experiment is like those spots because nothing bad can happen there.
yeah. I have stolen your line about about explaining how muscle memory works and how reps work, and I've taken a little bit of it from like learning how going to the gym works. 10 years ago. It's like there's a level of that. Um, there's no substitute for time. Like there's no the amount of time that it takes to learn to do something to a point cannot be shortcut.
Yeah.
So I think knowing how to verbalize that to then communicate to a person quickly, just being like, look, you're in the phase where you just got to go do a bunch of it and just like give it some time and see what you pick up, you know? Or you need to just start doing it, kind of like we did with the podcast. Like we
Yep.
had the idea for it and we overthink till we're dead and never do it because we need this audio and this video and this kind of sponsor and da 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 da. No, just go do it, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, the first
Um,
episode was like, Tom, I think we just have to, because we were trying to think of, okay, we're going to need this. What about the format? What about this? What about that? And then at some point we're like, I think we just have to start and then we'll have a better idea of like what we need to do and what we need to get and what equipment we'll need and this and that. But like
yeah.
just starting is going to be the most important part.
So it's kind of a twofold answer. If it's how do you tell someone to start without being condescending? There's the verbalizing of that we just said, like you just have to start.
Then you'll know what you
You
need.
can't just you can't just kick the rock down the road forever
You'll never know
because
what you need.
you're never going to start.
Yeah. You'll
Yeah.
never know what you need until you start.
And if you're in a phase of learning where you are either overthinking things, over whatever, and you need to just go do more, give it more time, being able to communicate that to somebody to say like you're in the phase where you just need more reps. You need reps, you need reps, you need reps. And as you do those, we'll constantly be back. You can check in with me, whatever.
Yeah.
Just tell them that. And I think those communication tools help a lot.
Yeah. I, a lot of time when I'm instructing somebody and they're very new for track stuff or even autocross stuff if they're somehow getting my sphere as like a brand new autocrosser is I explain what the process of learning is going to look like for them. Uh,
Yeah.
basically we're like right now this is taking up so much of your frontal cortex. It is you are concentrating so hard on things that will eventually become automatic and you'll barely have to pay attention to those things. It's just something that you'll do. And the process of getting better at this is you're just building more of those programs that run in the background while you're concentrating on something else.
Yeah. I was on the other page. Anthony did explain he means how do you tell people to just get seat time instead of worrying about all kinds of other stuff or building their cars to a crazy level. Yeah, I think that any or you steal ours, but any like anecdote to like just start. You're gonna be fine. And also you're basically at the phase where the only reason you're not doing it is because you've convinced yourself of other things that aren't true.
Yeah. I think it also depends on kind of what their goals are though. Like some people just like to play with their car so that they put like a
Yeah.
mod on it and then they go out there and they're like, "Ah, cool, it drives different." And then they put another mod on it. And like the actual like improving of the driving is not necessarily something that they're getting like fun out of. Like that's not where they're getting their dopamine
Yeah.
hit.
But would you tell someone that if you knew that that was their like if you clocked them as like that's what they're doing. That's the person they are. They love having a car. They don't really care about driving on track. They use all the excuses in the book because they don't really care about driving on track, but they love being at the track and they love all the people and they love their car.
I
I
think
can
that
think of 3 people off the top of my head
yeah,
that are like that.
I think those people are important for the community and for just the sport in general. Uh,
Yeah.
I can't really connect with that because that's nothing. I've never done that. That's never been.
Maybe yeah.
That's literally never been like how I would get my dopamine.
Yeah, I totally agree, but like I said, I
Those
can
people
so easily
exist,
think of
and there's I would say
yeah.
they are the majority.
No, 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 no. I'm talking like I hate to use it. I can think of specific people, but I don't want to like it feels rude to just be like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the kind of
Don't do
person
that.
they are. They're at let's say they're at a grid life event almost every time, but they really never have they never participate. They have their car there. They like the car. They're plugged into the community. They're all this stuff. But then if you like, why aren't you doing HPD? It's hemming and hawing into this and that. And da, 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 da. Maybe just us talking about this will be like, those people exist and they're happy and like don't yuck their yum.
Are you saying they never even drive?
Yeah, or like they kind of used to, and now they still come out of like community and habit, but they don't drive anymore. And like their excuse for not doing any sort of competition or driving is like, "Oh, I just haven't had time," or "Oh, I need this for
Hmm.
my car," or
I'd be curious what their like a deep dive on. Maybe you think of one of these people and we bring them on the podcast and we like really like dig in. Because I would
see, that's the thing is I can't think of any of these people that I would actually be like, "Yep, that's the person," and have that because I don't think these people fully think that's what they are. That's just in the same way that when we were talking about a couple weeks ago that you never fixed the Civic. It's because you knew what you wanted and the Civic didn't line up with it. And even though you didn't think it through, it's just like it was a it was what you did, right?
yeah,
But I would never just be like,
I was pulled in a direction that was opposite of fixing the Civic.
right. But it's not something I would have given you shit about, right? It's not like, well, what were you gonna fix the car, right? Because I
I
can
mean,
see that your
plenty of
heart's in other
people did.
places.
Yeah, plenty of people did,
Plenty of people did,
but
but
they
I
didn't see
wouldn't.
where my heart was.
Right. So I can kind of these people that's maybe their heart's just not in it and they
Yeah.
haven't like fully processed or thought about that yet, but like they love coming to the track, they love the people, and maybe they just don't really care about driving on track or competing all that much. And if that's the kind of person they are, then I think that's fine.
I wonder if it's just like the whole like they like the energy in the paddock and all that, but like driving on track is a lot of work. Uh
Yeah.
and maybe they're like I can have 90% of what I liked about being at the racetrack and it's way less work and I'm not stressed about because a lot of people are stressed when they're driving on track or getting ready to go drive on track or anything like that. Like maybe at some point people just like when like you know what that's actually not the fun part and these people exist. That's not the fun part. The fun part is just like being in the paddock. And so they found their people, but they realized that the fun part was not the driving on the track part for them. I bet that's
And aren't those
100% what
kind
it
of
is.
people and they're so weird, right? No, I'm kidding.
Oh God.
Yes, no, 100%. So
Okay.
if I think being able to just identify that maybe that's the kind of person they are alleviates some of the like uh frustration for someone like us who hear that all the time from them and they're like, come on, like
Yeah.
just get out of your own way.
But in the
You
same
can
instance
let them have fun their way.
where like people would ask me about the race car and I haven't even like really thought it out myself and I'm like, "Oh yeah, 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 I got to fix it. I got to fix it or whatever." It might be the same thing where like you bring up like, "Hey, come on, you got to get out on track." And they go, yeah, 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 I got to get on track." And it's just like a moment of stress for them. To me personally, I don't want to bring a moment of stress to somebody. So,
Exactly, yeah.
yeah, maybe like we can recognize that that would bring a moment of stress for that person and we're not actually like we're not actually helping them. You know what I mean?
It's in a weird roundabout way the same as like the family at Thanksgiving and Christmas always being like, "So when are you getting married?"
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
like,
It
"When are
would
you
be like the
yeah, when are
same
you having a
thing.
kid? When are you
Oh,
fixing your car? Come on, bring it back."
when are you gonna have a baby?
Yeah. I don't know why my family's from Jersey now, sorry.
That's just the stereotypical family accent. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's a classic O'Gorman accent.
Yeah.
Not.
So
So yeah, now we have that was so many answers to such a simple question.
it was for sure. That was fun. All right, Tom, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm going to Cincinnati. We're having a makeup family Thanksgiving with the side that we didn't see, my brother. And That's it. Going to Cincinnati. What about you?
I think Christine's gonna try to get me to go to
Oh,
some what?
we're also commentating the next Liberty Bell League race on Sunday.
Oh yeah. Yep.
It's the third round of that all women's series that DJ and I commentate, and that's always fun. So both of those things Sunday.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
yep, I'll be home this Sunday, so I won't have to commentate it from a car like I did last time. In
You
a
literally pull off the highway. And
I was in a pilot parking lot and I pulled out like a condenser mic that I had. I had our mobile podcast machine hooked to a laptop on a battery bank, and I was commentating the race. It actually worked pretty well. I don't think you'd be able to tell, to be honest.
Yep.
Um,
No, you couldn't tell at all. It was great. So you're gonna go where with Christine? Maybe.
I think she's gonna try to get me to go to a work party thing that she's doing. Yeah.
Does she want to go?
No.
Would it make it easier for her to be there if you're there too? She has to go.
I don't know if she has to go. Maybe she can blame me on why she couldn't go. I don't know. We'll see.
What if Wednesday got out of the house?
Well, what if any of her coworkers listen to this? She totally wants to go, and I'm excited too.
Honestly, that'd be a funny problem to have. That'd be cool. Hi, coworkers.
Yep. And I'm going to be trying to build a bunch of setups for the race for the subscribers that have requested setups for the Lizard Brains race.
Sweet. And if that race sounds intriguing to you in any way, you can join the Discord and check it out. You don't have to like commit to it or anything. Just read the information. Be fun. Yeah, sounds fun.
I will be getting a new sim rig at some point in the next week. So if I get it that weekend, then I will be putting that together. I'm rearranging this whole room. So maybe the next podcast I'll have a different background because I'm changing it up. Right now it's like pointing at the closet that's behind me. The desk would actually go like next to that closet, and the sim rig would be like basically where the like next to that. It's gonna be different. I figured out a way. Well, not figured out a way, but I've been watching a lot of videos and like other people's sim rigs. Like mine's been kind of hodgepodge together. Like it's just kind of like a smorgasbord of different things. And Christine's mom bought me a new like rig for Christmas. And so I've been looking up like ways to because I just have like an assortment of wires going every which direction, and I use almost every USB port on my motherboard. And I'm like, how do these like high end simulators like do it? And they have like they have the power strip and the hub, like the USB hub, on the rig, and they just have extensions that go to different things. So if you need to move the rig or anything, you just unplug these two extensions, and then everything on the rig is like all together. So if you need to like move the rig out of the way to like clean under it or whatever, that like you're not worried about all these wires going every which direction because they're just part of the rig. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna set it up where it's actually like looks professional, because while my rig's very nice and I have nice equipment, it kind of just like stuff got added to it as it got added to it. So doing any kind of maintenance or anything on the rig, especially like where it is, and I'll show it's just in the corner, so I like can't get to the pedals. The USB hub is just kind of like on the ground, so yeah, some room for improvement.
Yeah, that would be nice. Mine's the exact same. And anytime I have to go do anything with it, it's like you're basically just disassembling the whole thing. You got to
Yeah.
take, like, since it's crammed in the corner, you got to take the whole thing out of
Yep.
the corner.
So I'm not
So I
gonna
just like put off doing anything with it.
Yep. So I'm not going to have it in the corner. It's going to be kind of like in a more open space so I can access any part of it. It takes up more space, but I'm not really using the space in this room effectively anyways. So I'm hoping that
And then
what?
no one can put DJ in the corner.
No, definitely not. Can't wait. It's going to be the best.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I hope it comes in.
Yeah, same. All right. Ready for the outro, Tom?
Yeah. To everybody from VIR that we met this weekend, that we hung out with, got to know. It was a blast, and I love your hair, and I hope you win.